You're on the Sphere. We're all on the Sphere.
How cool is this? Guns and Gear from SHOT Show.
Vegas, baby.
All right, here we go. SHOT Show 2025. Let's kick this off. Guns and Gear from SHOT Show, presented by Palmetto State Armory. And this is the first one. Our buddy Eric Suarez, welcome in, man.
I appreciate you having us.
All right, Meprolight optics. So we're going to talk optics today. We're going to actually, this year, you guys are going to see some fun stuff because we got a lot of new stuff in beforehand and got to shoot it. So follow along with us all this week and in the weeks prior, or following this, and you'll see all the new stuff. So Meprolight, Eric, we've done stuff with you guys before, but for people watching who maybe are like, Meprolight, haven't heard of them, maybe I heard of them, who are you guys and what's the heritage there?
Yeah, so Meprolight started in 1990 out of the need for the Israeli Defense Force needing some military products. So those products started with Tridium within tanks to understand when they were out of ammo. If they saw the Tridium, they knew they were out of shells. Kind of grew from there to mortar sights. So individuals can operate mortar systems when it was dark out without the need of flashlights. And then on the third side for air-to-air refueling. Nowadays it's all computerized, but back in the 90s it was not, and you needed to catch the cone, and they used Tridium to do that. So we've been the market leader in Tridium for decades at this point.
Yeah.
So here at SHOT 2025, we're turning 35 years old, so that's super exciting. And it's good to just see the growth. The U.S. team has been in place for about 5 years. And our core brand is to support the military and law enforcement agencies around the world, and now within the U.S., specifically with the products we'll talk about today, that is really focused for the professional user and LE market.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are one of the OGs when it comes to Tridium, and people will say that, oh, this says Tridium. Like, Meprolight's like, yeah, we know about it. We've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, we do. Last year we did some independent testing, brightest Tridium on the market. There's some very large OEMs that our name is not on it, but we've been doing their Tridium work for the last 25 plus years.
Oh, wow.
So it really is. And it's one of those things, like today we are progressing, I'm not going to say away from Tridium, but pistol dots have kind of taken over in the direction that we're going.
Yeah.
So at SHOT we're going to launch dedicated pistol backup sights for Glocks. And we really came at it just like on rifles with backup sights. How do you interact with the backup sight? How do you allow it to give you features and benefits to make the hits when it is dark, but still light time? So yes, your optic, just like your rifle, is your main sighting system, but what happens when that goes down?
And I know you guys have, because you have that heritage of working with the IDF, you guys take this very seriously.
We do. So quality control is our mainstay. So the M22, which is the M21 is the precursor to the M22 that we launched last year. This is our new light module version that kind of takes away and eliminates reticle washout. But when these come off the line in Israel, it does not matter whether it gets boxed and shipped to the U.S. or if it is going straight into service within the IDF. So when the war kicked off last year, well, 2 years ago, I guess now, since we opened up the warehouse, and those same optics that were supposed to come to the U.S. turned around and got issued out to the IDF. And then the product that we had sitting here, M21s, more Pros, RDS Pro V2s that we had in the warehouse here in the U.S., we sent 4 pallets back so they can use them for the war effort. So it speaks to the individuals that are running quality control because it really could go to their family member or a family member. We've got actually 2 people here from Meprolight Israel that are on the reserve side, and one just came back 4 weeks ago from service. So they are kind of coming in and out. And still serving the country.
So let's talk real quickly about these 2 that we have on the guns here.
Yeah, so first is the M22 Pro. We did launch the M22 last year. A battery-free optic, runs off of Tridium and fiber optic. A byproduct of the technology side of that is reticle washout, because you're not applying any battery power to the reticle, so it takes the readings, the ambient light temperatures, and readings from where the optic is. So washout is real.
So tell me if I'm on the right track with this. The reticle can get brighter or dimmer based on the available light. Is that right?
Yes, at the location of the optic.
At the location of the optic. So it's potential where you have a dimmer optic in dimmer conditions, but you guys kind of have a solution for this.
We do. So we understand the, I'm not going to say drawback of the technology, because a lot of people really do enjoy a battery-free solution that they can take out of their vehicle. And honestly, we've shot these all over. We came down and shot them with you guys. We've shot them on the West Coast. If you're in similar lighting conditions, then there is no issue. The challenge is from a very dark lighting condition to a very bright lighting condition. So we produced two different versions, or two different options, if you will, to combat that. One is a polarizer. The M21s have a polarizer. There's a screwed insert in the front that screws right in. It gives you 19 levels of adjustability.
Wow.
So a shooter can reach up and adjust it. It's no different than adjusting a brightness of a reticle, or fixing your parallax on a one day, whatever the case may be. Yeah. And then the second really exciting product is the light module itself. So we built the M22 with electronic contacts on the left side. So if an individual currently has an M22 and wants to upgrade it with the light module, we have that as an accessory.
Cool.
Here at SHOT, though, we are going to launch the M22 Pro, which comes with the light module installed from the factory.
Nice.
So that gives just people more availability and really kind of takes all the excuses out of it.
Yeah.
So now you have a kind of a one-all, be-all. If you do not need the light module on, you don't turn it on. It still works battery-free, warranted for 10 years on Tridium, lifetime on everything else.
Okay.
But if you're a law enforcement, I just sold 2 law enforcement agencies M22 Pros. They love the ability of an officer having to take a rifle out under stress, not having to worry about buttons.
Yep.
So that's kind of what this was made for. But if you do find yourself in a situation where washout is a potential issue, you can reach up and you have low, medium, high. It does auto shut off, and it can still be ran.
It'll boost it.
It does. So it does boost the reticle.
Okay.
And then if you still want to run a polarizer, you're more than able to do that too.
Okay. Now what about this guy? Kind of a big, small optic?
Yeah.
A small carbine optic?
Yeah, so this is the MCO Pro Mepro carbine optic.
Yeah.
It's shown here in a 193 height. It comes from the factory at a 150. It uses the same technology as our pistol dots. So if you are already carrying a pistol dot of ours, the MPOs, then the functionality and the button pressers are the same.
Great.
So it is a micro red dot. It works with, obviously, our magnifiers, our flip-up sights. The fantastic part about this, you're looking at a 399 map. It passes all mil standard testing, 810 golf and hotel testing, and it's a super cool optic. Chris and I were talking about it. He's like, man, this little thing is sick.
Yeah.
So it gives you 3 reticle options. So you have a 2 MOA dot, a 2 MOA/68 MOA bullseye, and then you also have a mil drop reticle in there as well.
Awesome. And it, having this little bit of rise in here, that's kind of a trend we're seeing for optics on carbines, kind of a modern way of shooting it. We were out on the range, so let's take a look and see these in action.
Meprolight. It's not an off-brand optic. It's the optic for the Israeli Army. This is the M22 Pro. Now what makes this different from the M22 is the M22 is a fiber optic sight. It's just fiber optic. And if you've ever used fiber optics in really dark light, like when you're just under the stars or inside of a building, they get pretty dim and it can be hard to find. So what they've done with the Pro is they've added their light housing to it, and now they have an illuminator. You can actually turn this thing on, 3 different light settings, and then you can still see that fiber optic sight. So when you're in total darkness or really close to darkness, that thing still works. Additionally, for that, you can get a polarizing lens. You can screw it on the end of it, and what you can do is you can dial down the amount of light that's coming in. So on a bright day like today, when that sun is washing that thing out, you can cut that back. So that's adjustable. And if you're worried about being seen hiding in the bushes, they got a flash kill for the end of it, so that you can get rid of that glint that comes off of there. My favorite right now is the MCO Pro, which is a micro carbine optic. And this thing's really cool. It's got 3 different reticle settings. It's got like a ballistic hold in it. It's got a dot with a circle, and then it's got just a dot. And a dot is 2 MOA on here. I like that it comes with the mount. Everything's put together. It's not a quick disconnect though. This one you have to use a wrench to put on. I do like to be able to take things off. I put it on this rifle, And when I brought it outside, I was really impressed to see how small the dot was. I love a small dot. If I want it to be bigger and brighter, I will turn up the illumination. Let's put a couple rounds down range. I don't know if I got anything zeroed here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm all over that target, But it's cool because I have a super fine aiming point. This is shake awake technology, which is something I really like, especially when we're talking about battery powered optics. Meprolight, every year they come out with something a little cooler, a little something more exciting or innovative, and I like what they're doing. This is one that I'm going to be putting on a rifle.
And I really like the smaller dot for a carbine optic. I mean, obviously, it's called microcarbine optic, right?
Meprocarbine, but yeah,
Meprocarbine.
it is a micro optic.
Okay,
for sure.
So, I mean, because with something like this, you can absolutely shoot 100, 200 yards, but you need a smaller dot because that target's going to be getting small. The dot could be covering up. All right, so but let's talk about the new stuff because you showed up with these, and I was like, wait a minute. I've never seen this from Meprolight. What do we got here?
So we are launching at Shot 25 our MVO line of family of optics. So Mepro variable optics. The family has 3 optics within it, a 1-8, which you're holding there, 3-18, and then a 6-36. So we started this project about 10 months ago. We started from the ground 10 months, and we will be delivering at the end of March. Okay. So some of the key features, we designed them for the professional and LE user. So 34 millimeter tubes, first focal plane, mil reticles, dual illuminated red and green across the board, German shot glass in every one of our optics, and integrated throw levers. These have throw levers installed. You can take them out.
Big. These are nice.
Yeah, so you can. There's a single set screw here. You can take the screw out. This comes off, and you still have a hump, an integrated throw lever in.
Okay.
Just depends on how big you want it.
Yeah, some people may not like it this being this big, but if you're not like worried about tight spaces or whatever, you're just running it on the range. This is really handy and quick.
Yeah, everything's textured. So if you're using gloves, it's all push-pull lockable turrets. The 3-18, 6-36 has 0 stops built in. The turrets are actually machined into the body, so they do not come off and you cannot lose them. 0 stops are set from the factory. These have been phenomenal. So the 1-8 features an M1 reticle, which is more like a CQB reticle. Just like if you're using the circle dot here at lower magnifications, that's what you'll see. And then as you explode it out, you'll see range estimation for 18-inch targets out to 400.
Wow.
You'll start seeing all your mil drops. Things like that. So they all have floating center dots for precision shooting. They've been quite amazing.
This is really well thought out. I mean, you guys, it feels very robust.
Yeah. So sometimes imitations of finest form of flattery. There's some really good optics on the market. That's where we started. We started with the benchmarks and then kind of see how do we do better on price, but yet give them the same, if not better, features across the board. Okay. So that right there, the 1-8 is going to be around $13.99 map. 3-18 around $17.99, and then the 6-36 will be at $26.99.
Okay. So yeah, like you said, these are professional grade type scopes here.
They are. The 3-18 really does kind of mold from the tactical to the hunting market. It's under 12 inches. That's what I was just looking at going, well, this is a 3-18? That's not very big. I mean, look at that. That's pretty short. It is. So if you take the caps off, it's 11.9.
Wow.
So it is under 12 inches. In order to use these illuminators, you press the button on the side. Mm-hmm. The parallax is at 30 yards on the 3-18, but on the 6-36, which we have in our booth, it's at 10 yards. So if you're an NRL 22 guy or you just want to shoot some of those 22 long rifles, no issues running those with our optics.
And these are smooth. Adjusting the magnification.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're holding your hand, it's not as smooth, obviously, because it's not anchored to a rail.
Sure.
But they're smooth across the whole thing. So the 3-18, 6-36 will come with sunshades. They all come with flip caps as well.
Okay.
So really try to give somebody everything they need out of the box.
All right, I got a question for you. You guys are, not new to optics, not new to a lot of this stuff, but this is a new category for you. What was the hardest part? What was the biggest challenge in putting this whole together, this line?
understanding what a family would look like. We're trying to get away from singular products.
Mm-hmm.
So a product family needs to be just that, a family. If somebody sees a MCO Pro, but they're like, man, I just wish I had a 193 mount, we want to be able to give that. What we're launching also at SHOT here is on the MPO pistol optic side. We now have direct mount closed emitter plates for the top producers of firearms. We now have direct mount shotgun plates for RMRs.
Ooh.
So if you have a Benelli M4, a Beretta 1301, a 590, we now have RMR direct mount plates that really price point $49.
And the direct mount plate is going to get the optic a little bit lower, right?
It'll get it lower, and as long as the receiver is already drilled and tapped, you just remove those set screws that come from the factory, put our plate in, and then you're ready to go.
Nice.
So on a Benelli M4, for example, it almost gives you a lollipop-like feel, so you still can see your optic or still see your iron sights through the optic.
Okay.
So in the event something happens, you can still revert kind of the same way.
Awesome. Man, you guys are doing a whole lot of stuff, Eric.
It doesn't stop, but it's great, though. The ability to see kind of where the market is going and work towards new products with Chip, our product manager. We're already working on what the next 3-4 years looks like down the road. So
awesome.
We can't ever stop, because if you stop, then you die. So we got to keep moving forward.
Don't stop swimming.
Yeah. Nope.
All right, you guys. Meprolight, a ton of new stuff. I mean, you want, high-end optics for your carbine, and then they have the new magnified stuff. I mean, go check them out. It's being tested in real-world situations all over the world. So stay tuned. More from SHOT Show coming up, but that's it from Meprolight. We'll see you soon.
For more great gun content, subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. You can also watch the Gun Talk channels on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon. And of course, you can always find us at guntalk.com. Thanks for watching.